Hey everyone, it's Chris here from Everyday Survival Gear, and today I bring you the review of the Miboxer C2-3000. It's kind of tethered to a cable because I'm using it to charge. This is now my go-to charger. It's got everything that you need in a charger. It's a fully automatic smart charger. It tells you milliamp hours in the cell, ohmage of the cell, so milliohms, the resistance of the cell. What else? It tells you how many amps it's putting in. It's fully automatic, nothing for you to select and choose. And it can charge out up to 1.5 amps, so you can charge two 22-650s like that. Let's get the review started. Alright guys, we'll just quickly run over some specs before this camera overheats again. This may be the last Sony phone that I ever buy, who knows. Basically, it'll charge pretty much all your basic lithium-ion 4.2 volt cells. The only ones it won't charge are lipos, and it doesn't really charge the 4.35 volt lithiums. Well, it does, but it won't fully charge them to 4.35 volts, unfortunately. So it basically charges pretty much all of your lithium ions, as I've already said. All your standard 3.6 and 3.7 volts. It'll do chemistry-wise, IMR, INR, and ICR. And it will also charge NIMs and nickel cadmiums. Yeah, so it will not charge LiPo, but yeah, basically they're pretty strong on saying that it won't charge LiPo, so don't put LiPo cells in here because they're only 3.2 volts nominal, just for safety. Alright, we'll run over the specs that Miboxer give it. I just lost my voice there like I'm a teenage girl. Automatically detects lithium-ion batteries, 4.2 volts. And NIMs and nickel cadmiums, 1.48 volts. Uses full charging capacity termination method for NIMs and nickel cadmiums. Now I can't say the word. Basically, it uses pulse charging for NIMs. That's basically the correct way of charging. Then it's got like some sort of direct termination. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I know that way is the correct way of doing it. So it's better that they use that method. Automatically stops charging with the function of overcharge. Maximum 1.5 amps channel fast charging. Automatically adapts to the load capacity of the power adapter. Automatically select the most appropriate charging current by judging the characteristics of the battery. Automatically detect the internal resistance of the battery capacity. Automatically count the battery percentage. Automatically count the remaining charging time. Save the charging curve automatically for lithium-ion batteries only. Support for repair activation of no voltage battery. Basically, if you got a battery that has a safety and a safety trip, it will reactivate it. It's not going to activate lithium ions that are at exactly 0 volts. If the safety tripped, it does read as 0 volts, but obviously it's not actually 0 volts. The cell should still be well above 2 volts, usually about 3 volts, and the protection trips on a cell with a safety mechanism. So it's got 2 independent slots. So basically you can charge a 26-650 here if you like, and you can charge a 10-440 here. As it stands with my version, I have charged 10-440s. The charging current did get up a little bit too high, so I wouldn't fully recommend it. But once they give me the manual version, we'll have a go of that and see how that does. It can charge them at like 100 milliamps for the baby cells, but it doesn't always choose that current. Obviously, you know, you can see that this slot here, slot 1 is charging at 1 amp now, and slot 2 is charging at 1 amp also. So you kind of don't want 1 amp charging into a cell that only has 300 milliamps. So yeah, just be careful with that, but they pretty much fixed it now anyway, so it's pretty sweet. Once you guys get a hold of it, the market version, that problem should be fully fixed. High precision reference voltage source calibration, so it's calibrated to a high precision source. You know, the voltage does read pretty true. If I was to pull out this battery right now, it would show 3.95 volts, but kind of like once you start to get closer to 4.2 volts, because of the current gets lower, but the voltage stays the same, all charges start to read a little bit off. So it might sit at 4.2 volts while it's only 4.17 volts. That's not the charger's fault. That's more so the battery's fault. All chargers do it, so that's not really a problem. Like my Nightcore chargers do it, my Little Carlas do it, the Opus chargers do it. It's a pretty common thing. With reverse battery protection and short circuit protection function, made of PC fire retardant material, excellent heat dissipation and circuit design with 3-year warranty. So basically, this thing doesn't really get hot. It's pretty good. It is really fat, so we'll have a look around. So it is like a fairly huge charger for a 2-port charger, but obviously, as I say later on in the video, you know, most chargers that are 4-bay, you can't really charge 26650s in them because, like, they don't fit. So this one fits the biggest 26650s that I have. Although it is tight, it does still fit them. So if I was to use a 4-bay charger like my Little Carla Engineer 500, it would fit both of these in, but then I couldn't use any other ports either. So this works out a lot better choice than using that Little Carla Engineer 500, because this fits them in better and they're in there safer and more like better. Like they fit in perfect, they don't slide around. If I was to use that charger, which I'll pull it out now and I'll show you what I mean, they don't fit quite as well. Alright guys, my Nightcore D4 is closer. This is pretty thrashed. I've had it now since 2014. When they first came out, I brought it, so I got a review on this. It's about 2 years old now, I think. Go back and look at that horrible video. Nothing's really changed, actually. It's still the same. You can see the bay widths are like crazy different. Like one of these bays here in the Miboxer C2-3000 is twice as big almost as one of these bays. So I'll fit this in. It's not even sitting like flat. I don't even know if that's even going to charge. Is it making proper contact? Doesn't even sit inside there. So I'm not even sure if it would even charge on the Nightcore D4. But yeah, so you know, you can't really fit another cell. I know these are still charging, so I shouldn't really take them out, but now let's just say it fits here, and if it does work, it fits there fine. But what other cells are you going to be able to charge now? You know what I mean? You can probably fit in like, yeah, you can still fit in an 18650. Pretty tight, but I don't think you'll get an 18650 inside here. Nah, no way, just knocked it out. So you can fit in one extra battery, but anyway, the D4 doesn't even charge anywhere near as fast as the Miboxer C2-3000, so you've got to keep that in mind too. This will only charge like one port at 750 milliamps. This will do twice of that for one port. Alright, we should probably talk about what this comes with. You get the Miboxer C2-3000. You get an instruction manual from Miboxer. It's in really good English. It's done really well. I'll move that out of the way. You get the box itself, and you also get a car charger with it. So there's the car charger there. My table isn't even flat. I've got to fix this table up. That's my dodgy way of building, lads. That's it there, Miboxer. It can do 12 volts from the car, so obviously your car cigarette lighter can output 12 volts. You also get a USB to DC power cable, but you don't actually get a AC to DC power adapter included in this version. I'm thinking Miboxer was saying that they are going to release the new version of this charger with a AC to DC adapter. If that happens, we'll wait and see. They're supposed to be sending me that version. I'm pretty sure I've already said that now like 100 times. So when we get that one, we'll have a look over it. It's pretty much got a pretty good voltage input. You can read it here if you guys can see it. Anywhere from 5 to 12 volts at 2 amps. So I've just got a spare charger lying around the house. This is it here. I don't even know what it's from. This will do 12 volts at 1.5 amps output. So we'll plug this in and we'll see if this fits. Actually, that's a good point. We'll see if it even fits. Yeah, it fits in fine. We'll plug it in and we'll see if it will charge these cells now at 1.5 amps. Explosion. we'll give it a bit of time to recognize it and whatnot. Now, because I'm going to pull this apart in a minute, I'm starting to feel like Big Clive. I've got power cords running everywhere, USBs and stuff. Pretty crazy. 1.5 amps charging. How good's that? What slot is this? That's slot 2. So go slot 1. So 44 milliohms, 1.5 amp fast charge, 3.96 volts. Now it's got 25 milliohms. These little colors are really good for their internal resistance. I'm pretty sure I've already said that further down in the video, but we'll wait and see. So as you can see, that random cord that I found somewhere, I don't even know what it's from. On the box it says K-Tech, so I'm not sure what it would have come with. Maybe I'll Google search it. So talking about the charger itself, it's built really well. It's very heavy duty. It's very large for a 2-bay charger. Just keep that in mind. The display is very clear and bright. Let me turn off my light that's above us, just so you guys can see how big and bright the screen is. That's the screen there. No, it's not showing up too well because I'm kind of in the light that's behind us. But that's the screen there. Very big, clear. Obviously, it's got no manual controls on my version, but Miboxer is going to release a updated version of this charger with manual controls. Kind of like charging small cells is a bit iffy on my version right now because it can auto select the current at 1.5 amps, and for a little tiny cell like this 14500, obviously 1.5 amps is way too much current. It's kind of hard for chargers to distinguish between different cells and whatnot. Cutoff voltage of mine is 4.2 volts, pretty much precisely on the dot. It does do a very good cutoff voltage. I don't mind my chargers to charge to 4.23, 4.24 because I feel it gives me a little bit of extra performance, but that's just me. I kind of like having the voltage pretty much as high as I can get it before I should stop it. Yeah, so screen very bright and clear, build quality perfect. There's no bends or no flex in it. Look at this. Snap, blow my batteries up, blow up my whole friggin' power in my house. Yeah, I like it because it's convenient, because they gave you the USB cable. So when I'm not at home, if I go away fishing or camping or something, I can pretty much just take my battery bank or this. I'll take this USB port here that comes with me most places and plug it in, and it's pretty easy. Although it doesn't charge at 1.5 amps from this power bank itself, it does charge at 1 amp per each cell, which is really well. Obviously I can check the battery stats here. I can check like how many milliamps have gone in, how much longer I have to wait, how many volts it's in. I don't really need my multimeter with me then, so that's all good. I believe that's the review done. I am going to take this apart, but if you only want to see the charger itself, don't bother watching anymore because I'm going to pull this apart now. No point in you watching that part if you don't want to, but for the rest of you that want to stay, I'm going to unscrew this and fast forward it and show you the internals and maybe get a shock from the internal capacitors. Hopefully not. Alright, as everyone else always like to say, don't turn it on, pull it apart, because that's how all Aussies talk, not like me. I might need a flathead to get these undone actually. No, because I've already had it apart before for the photo, so I shouldn't. I'm going to stop blabbering on now and fast forward from 3, 2, 1. Let's double the speed. Well, that was a lie. I didn't actually record most of that because the phone overheated again. So as you can see here, we kind of got it half apart. Hopefully there's nothing that's gonna blow me up. I don't think there is from last time when I took it apart. That's for the negative terminals. So basically negative on all chargers, I think, runs like so. That's the whole negative strip there, and positive is actually on the board itself. Should be able to just gently pull this out now. Snap. Should have discharged whatever was there. I can't see with the camera in my face. Pull this back together. I've already had it apart a few times anyway. Is there a clip here or something? I can't see no clips there. Alright, you win. We'll just pull it apart from the other side then. Much easier. Alright, so probably lost half the parts. Positive terminals there. Negative slides along like so. This is the actual negative terminal that sits here and slides up and down. This is actually magnetized, so I'll try with this. It is magnetized. Very good spacing on the board. You can see there, that's to turn down the voltage. So if you've got 12 volts coming in, it doesn't want to output 12 volts to the battery. It only wants the battery at like 4.2 volts. That's the control module there. It's got the resistors there. Everything has very good separation and space. Obviously you don't have mains coming in, so it isn't too much of a concern, but just in case you were worried about that, everything in here looks very well built, very solid. So yeah, as I was saying, everything's very solid. Nice separation between where the power sits and the screen. It's a very big, beefy charger, as I've already said. Not having the power supply internal does mitigate a lot of the heat to outside. This charger stays very cool while charging. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole review done, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video with the little added bonus of the teardown. And if you wouldn't mind, share. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. This is some highly wobbly bonus footage. Alright, I put it back together. Do you think it's going to work now that I took it apart? Have some faith, guys. Probably. Let's see if it works. Actually, let's put in the small battery. Is it working? Yes, it's working. Very nice. How much? Perfect though? Probably not perfect because a few things went spring and sprung, but it does work, and that's what's important.